Good morning, beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be using majority of my Fenty products, so let's get straight to it. So starting off, I'm going to be using the Fenty Soft Silk Primer, and you want to just massage this all over your face. And I do have dry skin, that's why I'm using this primer, but you can use the regular primer as well, or any other primer you have. I'm just using majority Fenty products. And now I have the Fenty Beauty Eaze Drop as well as the Fenty Beauty Hydrating foundation. And I'm starting with the Eaze Drop, and I'm just working this into my skin using my fingertips. And I know putting it on at first, I was like, okay, this may be a little bit too light, but the more and more I blended in, it worked really good. But this Eaze Drop is mostly like a skin tint. It is not going to be like full coverage or anything like that. That's why I'm going in with the hydrating foundation. Still adding the Eaze Drop just a little bit to my forehead so that my face will obviously be one color. And I'm just working that in, and then I'm going to go in with a brush just to buff that out a little bit before going in with a little more product and then moving on to my foundation. With the Fenty Beauty foundation, I'm using 420. And this one was the lighter one, and then the other one that I normally was using in all of my other videos was 430, which was a little darker. But blending these two, the Eaze Drop and the foundation, blended perfectly together. The foundation gave me the coverage that I need, and the Eaze Drop gave me the tint to help cover up some of those spots, I feel. But now I'm just buffing this in with a brush all over my face. Don't forget your neck. And I'm also going to, I didn't add anything onto my nose because I feel like if you add product onto your nose, it's just going to make it more oily. And that's just my experience with it. And I'm just, like I said, buffing this out. Please be careful around your eyebrows. You do not want to mess up all your hard work. It may seem like I'm going a little bit fast, but I did speed the video up just a little bit so that it won't be too long. And continue to buff this out as much as you need. If you need more product, go in with more product. And now I'm just spraying a setting spray just to help me set everything into place before going on with like concealer and powders and all of that. And now I'm just buffing that spray in. You don't have to, you can let it sit and dry up. And I'm lightly fixing my brows a little bit because, as you guys know, but I like for the front of my brows to be a little more faded out than how I used to do them. I find that this way looks better on me, in my opinion. Now I'm going to go in with my Fenty Bright Fix under eye brightener. I'm using this as a concealer. I really don't know if this is a concealer or not, but that's what I'm using it as under my eyes, just to give me that highlighted look. And I use a generous amount. A little do go a long way with this, I feel. And I'm just going to use a brush because, as I stated before, I like using a brush versus a sponge because I feel like you get more coverage under your eyes when you use a brush. Again, my opinion. And I'm just blending that out very lightly and making sure that it's buffed into my skin before adding on any setting powder to set it into place so I don't get any type of creasing. And now I'm going to go in with this foundation brush, and I'm just buffing out those edges, excuse me, so everything come together nice and evenly. Taking that same brush that I used for the concealer, and now I'm just adding on some Fenty Beauty setting powder, and I'm using the honey, and I'm just making sure I blend that in, really taking my time with this step to make sure, like I stated, that I don't receive any creasing. Even though if you have creases under your eyes, no matter how much powder, concealer, whatever you put under there, they still would crease, but this will help along the way so that it don't crease within the first few hours. And for my chin, my forehead, the center of my nose, under my nose just a little bit, as well as the cheek area, I am going to be taking another concealer to highlight these areas. And the reason why I chose a different concealer, because again, the Fenty one is a bright eye fix, and don't know if you can use that on the other parts of your face. I'm pretty sure you can, I just didn't want to. Now I'm just taking that same brush and I'm buffing out everything to make sure that everything again blends in with each other. And on my chin, I think I put a little too much, because as you can see, it is kind of brighter than everywhere else. But later on, you will see how I blend that out and blend everything together. Again, taking that foundation brush just to make sure that everything is really buffed out. Nothing is on this foundation brush besides whatever was left over from previously when I was doing the foundation, but after that I did not add anything else. Now, as far as the tip of my nose, I decided to use my finger instead of a brush because I could not find the brush that I was going to use that is small enough for that section. Now, going in with my Fenty Beauty bronzer, I'm using the Mocha Mami, and I'm just carving out the sides of my nose just a little bit. And I like to use a bronzer instead of a contour stick, because I've yet to find a contour stick that is the shade that I need. Everything is either my skin tone or lighter. Now I'm just gonna add a little bit of this Fenty setting powder under my eyes to catch any fallout from the eyeshadows that I'm going to be using. You don't have to do this step if you do your eyeshadows first. I chose to do it this way because I didn't really know which colors I was gonna go with for this particular look, and I figured it out in the process of everything. Now, everywhere that I highlighted using the concealer, I'm going to take this setting powder to highlight. If you don't want any highlighted looks, you can use a setting powder that's similar or close to your skin tone to set any type of concealer that you put on. You need to set it, as well as foundation. Now right here, I'm doing the reverse contour. Now, if you already contoured, you don't necessarily have to do this step, but this step is optional. It will give you that more snatched look if that's the look you're going for, which today, that's the look I'm going for. Now for the fun part, I'm taking my Sananas Sephora eyeshadow palette, and I'm sorry the plastic fell down. And the first shade that I'm going to be using for the transition color is the hashtag Lady Boss, and I'm tapping this into place so it sits exactly where I want it to be before buffing that out. And I'm going to be repeating the same steps on the opposite side, just tapping that into place exactly where I want it to be, and then I'm going to slowly buff it out. Now, when buffing it out, you're not really buffing the whole thing out. It's more like the edges, and you can use another brush for that, but I chose to just use the same brush. There's no need to dirty up another brush if you don't need to. And for the second color, which I'm using for the outer V, this shade is called Nope, and it's like a burgundy-ish color. And I'm just using this as well as tapping motions before buffing that out, just to make sure that it sits exactly where I want that color to be. And I'm doing the same steps on the opposite side, just tapping there where I want it to be. And don't be afraid to actually like tap. As you can see, I wasn't really afraid, but I didn't really have much product on there. But tap it on. The worst that can happen is you put it in the wrong spot, but you may blend it out and it may come out to be right. And I'm just buffing out those edges to make sure that those two colors basically marry each other. And I'm just going to be switching back and forth a little bit just so I can make sure that those colors are blended together. Blending is the key. Make sure you always blend, 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 blend. Now I'm taking my third and final color, and this is the shade Wow. And I'm just placing that, basically doing a cut crease without really cutting my crease. And this color is so pretty. It's like a gold mixed with something else. I can't really explain it. It's so pretty. If you guys have not purchased this palette or tried this palette, I suggest you try it. This is my first time using it and I'm already in love. But anywho, back to what I was talking about. So now I'm going to just pat this into place and using, as if I was cutting the crease, using those same motions and just tapping it in. And then I'm going to go back and forth between the colors just to make sure that all three of these are blended together, so I don't have any harsh lines or anything like that. And like I stated a little while ago, blend, blend, blend. Now I'm just going back in with that second shade just to make sure that that outer V is a little darker the way that I want it. It kind of reminds you of doing a smoky eye, but not necessarily a smoky eye. But I'm just adding that on a little bit, and then I'm going to go back in and blend it out a little bit more. Again, blend, blend, blend. When in doubt, blend it out. Now I'm just taking a clean brush and I'm blending everything together again, just to make sure that everything flows so I don't have any harsh lines anywhere. If you do happen to see or have any harsh lines, just go back in with a little bit of either color and just blend it out. Now I'm just taking some pressed powder to remove that powder, and as you can see, that powder was not as easy as it normally be to remove, so I had to put a little force to it. You shouldn't have to put this much force to a powder. On top, the video is sped up so it looked like I'm really like scrubbing for life, but I'm not. And on this side, you really can see that it just did not go too well. So with this powder, I probably won't be using it that often. And now I'm going to set everything into place with my Makeup Forever Mist and Fix. And I'm just going to fan that dry a little bit and then buff it out just a little bit more, because as you can see that powder underneath my cheek area really good. And now I'm just going to add on my eyeliner as I always do. I'm adding it as close as I possibly can to my lash line. And then I'm going to create my wing. And I messed up a little bit, but I made a mistake and edit that part out to show you how I fixed it. But I just used the Q-tip to fix it. And now I'm just filling in my wing. I'm repeating the same steps on this side, get as close as I possibly can to my lash line before going in and creating my wing. Now I'm just taking a smudger brush and I'm going in with that second eyeshadow shade, which is Nope, and I'm just adding this to my lower lash line. My favorite lip liner is back, and I'm going in with my MAC NightMoth lip liner. I absolutely love this lip liner. And then for this look, it's perfect. It's the perfect burgundy. And I forgot to add a little highlight, so I'm just using actually that Wow eyeshadow as my highlight, because on this video I did not highlight at all. And I'm just outlining my lips, which barely have any, but that's okay. And I'm going to smudge that out a little bit with a lip liner smudger brush. And this is just so that my lip liner is not so harsh. If you want it to be that bold and harsh, you can leave it, but for me, I don't like it like that, so that's why I'm using a smudger brush. You also can use your finger if you want, or even a Q-tip. And as far as lip gloss, I'm going in with my Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb, and this is the Fenty Glow, my absolute favorite. This is my favorite one out of the whole collection. And I'm just adding that on top to bring everything together. And now I'm just going in with a little bit of mascara. I'm just going to set everything into place one more time, and I'm covering my eyes so that the eyeliner and the mascara does not run, and I'm just going to fan dry just a little bit. And as you can see, my hair already started unwrapping throughout the video, so now I'm just going to take my comb and unwrap it. Again, the video is sped up, so I'm not yanking or pulling on my hair. Thank you all for watching this video. Hope you all enjoy. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and also share with a friend. And a new video will be coming very soon.